Good evening, everyone. Welcome back on the Speaker Show. I remain your host, your one and holy Niniola Fatai. So, everyone, thank you so much for joining in this evening. It's been awesome, and I'm so sorry for the delay that we have today. So, I am very, very sorry about that, and I hope you guys, we're still gonna have a very beautiful time tonight. All right. So, without taking much of our time this evening, because trust me, when we come on the show, it's always something great, something amazing. And you know what, tonight, like you guys can see, I've got some extra chair right here beside me. All right. So, which means that, hey, all right, something good is going to happen this evening. All right. So, but before we get into that, I want to tell you, please, 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 tonight is going to be one of those great nights. And I don't want you to just be on this show by yourself. I want you to be on the show with your friends and family, your loved ones. So I'm going to encourage you this evening to please do share the video so we can have other people that they're joining us, that they're here, and they can be inspired as well too through other people's story. All right. So for some of you who are just joining for the first time, I'm going to introduce myself one more time. My name is Niniola Fatai, and then the Speaker Show, it's a place of inspiration where minds are being liberated through reasoning. So which means that, we gather here through other people's story. You can be inspired because I believe strongly that your life has a purpose, my life has a purpose, and if we can tap into it, trust me, the journey is gonna be it's gonna be amazing. So that's why we are here. Don't forget, if you have any question, if you have any comment, please do drop it. And then also, most importantly, when you're on the show, like I always said, get your pen and paper. Something might come up to you that you might be like, oh, I want to talk about, or maybe I want to say, I want to do something. So maybe you want to go back to it later. But for sure, the video is always here and available for you to always come back to at any time. So, all right. So my very good friend is in the house. All right. So I'm very, very excited. I'm gonna tell you that. And then before I actually even bring in my guest tonight, I know we didn't do a lot of publicity about this, but please just bear with me. Trust me, we're gonna be bringing her back because she's one of those powerhouse, amazing woman doing great things in her field. And I've seen many people being like their life has been transformed through, our own story, sharing our own journey. So, and tonight she's gonna be blessing us with one of those things tonight. So, all right. So, but before we get into that, do you guys remember last week? Last week was boom. Last week was fantastic. And I am so blessed. And I hope that each and every one of you, you're so blessed with it as well, too. So let's get into it tonight. I have got my very good friend, Dr. Kenny, in the house. Please help me welcome her. Oh, my goodness. Thank you for coming in. How are you?
I'm good.
Oh my goodness, look at you. You look so beautiful. Whenever I see her, I'm always super excited. Okay. I'm always happy because there's just something about her that she always come up with, and that just kind of blew me up all the time when I'm with her. And I am so excited to be with her live. This is a blessing. And I am so happy to see. How you
Thank
doing
you.
this evening?
I'm good. Thank
Wow,
you.
amazing,
Thank you for that.
amazing. That's
Thank you for the
good.
invite.
No problem. Oh my goodness, look at you. All right. So I'm gonna allow her to tell us a little bit about herself,
Yes.
and then we can get to know a little bit more about her. So you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Right. So I'm Hefzibah Kehinde Babatunde. I'm a wife. I'm a mother of 4 children, and I'm a medical doctor by profession. I'm also an author, and I'm into ministry as well.
Wow.
So yeah,
Amazing.
that
Wow.
summarizes it in that order.
I guess probably tonight you're gonna tell us, you're gonna tell us how you jungle everything together, and then what kind of passion that drives you to, from a wife, from a mother, and then a doctor at the same time, an author at the same time, and most importantly, to kill it out. Tell me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just God, to be honest,
Amazing.
and finding what you like along the way.
Yes.
And I'm able to combine everything, but I'm not a perfect person, just a disclaimer.
Mhm.
And also, I didn't combine everything at the same time. There are sometimes that one is ahead of the other,
Mhm.
but there are times that I find the equilibrium and the balance.
Wow.
But oftentimes I wear this many hats. But I think it's grace to be able to juggle it and know when one should be higher than the other and when one should come lower. So
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. I agree with you. I think it's great because there are a lot of people out there that they can't jungle a lot of things together.
you're right.
And then the fact that one is able to do that, I think it's one of those, one of those great things.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. All right. So you're gonna tell us, okay,
Right.
I'm gonna tell you, I have a book right here with me. And then, you're gonna tell us a little bit about it, and then you're gonna tell us, like, what actually inspired you to start a book? Like, what came to your
Right.
mind?
So my book, I wrote it when I was celebrating my 10th year of marriage, and that was in 2022. Um, I got married 2012, and so 10 years was two, two, 2022, right? So I
Wow.
just wrote the book to commemorate my 10th year of marriage, and I launched it on the day of my anniversary. So, I mean, it's been a journey, ups and downs in marriage. Marriage has its own challenges.
Absolutely.
I fought my own challenges in marriage. I fought with infertility as well. I fought with hardship financially. I fought with delays. Like I said, infertility. I've also had career delays as well. And that's a lot. And I thought to just write a book. Also, with the approval of my husband, was happy for me to share a story because I know it will bless a lot of lives and a lot of newlyweds that are just coming up. Um, so let me tell you something. Before I got married, I was in Toronto at that time, and we went for a wedding, somebody else's wedding. And you know how you're in wedding reception and they would ask people to give advice. And this was
Mhm.
the father of the bride.
Mhm.
And he was giving an advice generally to the couple. And he said something, and he said, my first 10 years of marriage was the most challenging. I was present in that, but I couldn't really wrap my head around that. I felt marriage should be like all sweet honeymoon, everything should be fine. But he said, after that 10 years for me, I don't know this man. Everything became rosy and better. I
Mhm.
did not know that this was going to be my journey.
Oh wow.
Yes. So for me, the first 10 years was the hardest, I would say, because of so many battles that we
Mhm.
fought. And then
Mhm.
I don't know this man, but every time I constantly remember his face, that I think this man, God sent him particularly to me to like
Mhm.
give me a spotlight of what my marital journey would be, even though he wasn't speaking to me. But
Mhm.
I found out later that the first 10 years
Mhm.
was the hardest for me. And so after the 10 years, things started to get better
Oh
in
wow.
ways that I've envisaged it to be, and then I decided to write this book.
Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow. That's quite inspiring. Oh my goodness. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I told you that, like, oh my God. There's just something about her. I'll be honest with you. There's just something special about her that I just can't, like, she's just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, so for some of you who you're wondering about the book, this is one of our books right here. God's purpose for marriage. She is like, she like sharing her own experience, towards like, during this journey. It's something that it's what, like, getting, reading, because there's so much that comes along with this, like she said, right? So please, we have the book available for you. If you need it, all right, you can reach us. So
And
but
it's on
now,
Amazon. Yeah.
yes. So let's get into it.
Right.
When you mentioned something about being married for like 10 years, and the different challenges and all that, right? I know there's this like there's this stuff going on, like when people have been married for like a long time,
Right.
and people get tired,
Yes.
and then the moment they get tired, it's more like I want to walk away.
Right.
So what would you say in that, like with your own experience?
Right. And that's a good question, by the way, because everybody has that reality. At
Yeah.
one point in time, you just want to give up. You just feel like it's just too much, even more than what you bargained for.
Mhm.
But at that time, I think that's where you need God to come in. That's where you need God to come in to help you, and that's where you need grace.
Yeah.
Like I said, in my own journey, of course, it was a lot of struggle, in the beginning. It was a lot of challenges, and of course the human strength will fail you.
Yeah.
But if you know why you go into marriage, that would help you to hold on. And like I said, God, the right mentorship around you would help, the right set of friends, the right set of people around that you can speak with. And that's why I wrote that book that is God's Purpose for Marriage. Marriage is not for contract. Marriage is not for convenience. Marriage is not for feeling good. Marriage is a covenant. There is a purpose. There is a reason why God wants you to be married. There's a reason why you are in that marriage. So therefore, if you find the purpose, the reason, it's just like you're on assignment, right? Let's say at the end of this assignment, you're going to be given $50,000. Let's say that's the contract.
Yeah.
But in that assignment, they didn't tell you what you're going to go through.
Yes.
Right. And then you're going through a lot of things. Maybe it requires you driving long distance. Your car had to break down. Fuel had to go out of the car. What would you do? Would you turn back?
No.
Why? Because you're looking at 50,000.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you see?
Yeah.
So every time you need to put that purpose, the reason why you're married should be in your mind. So it doesn't matter what you face along the way. Of course, there are some extreme situations that, require you having a round table talk.
Yeah.
But I'm saying generally, maybe lack of finances. He's a good guy. It's not abusive, He's a good guy. He's trying his best, but it's just there's lack of finances. There is children as well. They put pressure on the marriage, infertility, like I said in my own case. Some people have death. Maybe they lost a child, miscarriage. These are issues.
Yes.
And sometimes you're writing one exams or the other. Career, trying to chase up your career. These things are not. So, but the goal is that there is a future ahead of us. I can see that bright future. I can see a home that I'm building. I can see, even though there is storm at the moment, but my eyes is on that goal. So if you have that picture ahead of you, you overcome.
Yes.
Right? If you watch this Ultimate Search, there's this a Nigerian Guinness Ultimate Search. It's a lot of things that they do. But everybody have an eye on the prize. So if you understand the purpose of marriage, or if you understand why you're married, and if you don't understand it, it's still not too late to go back and say, God, why is it this man? Why is it that out of all the people asked me, what am I supposed to do here? What is the reason why I'm in his life? Why is it in my life as well? What are we building here? So if you go with that mindset, you realize that at the end of the day, marriage is a covenant. Marriage is for assignment. There is something you're doing in that marriage. And so when you have that in the back of your mind, you get grace, you get strength to push every day, and you take it one day at a time and trust God that at the end of the tunnel, there'll be a light and you achieve your goal.
Yes. I like the way you explain there, because, I always tell people this, that whatsoever you do in life,
right?
Everything just has to do with your own personal life as well too. When let's say, for example, the way you explain, the marriage, the journey of the marriage, and seeing it as a covenant, and then having something ahead of you that is going to be the gain.
Right.
I kind of see that as also as part of life generally. When people are trying to achieve something, when they're trying to do something in their lives, and then there's obstacle, there's these challenges, and and people tend to to give up
right
along the way. So and it's sad, but then it's not easy, right? So I see that also has just whatever you're doing, aside from even marriage, you might be married, you might not, you might be single, it doesn't even matter what part of it that you have, right? So but the most important thing is that you live the life knowing oneself, accepting oneself, and be able to make one decision that whatsoever I get myself into, I'm not going back, I'm not quitting, right? So that kind of mindset, it will absolutely work in every stages of one's life. So so thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
No problem at all. I mean, just to add a little bit to what you've said, it's absolutely true. Sometimes I was saying that the purpose of marriage and the benefit of marriage are two different things.
Yes.
But sometimes we interchange them, and that's where the confusion comes in. For instance, people say, I'm not happy in this marriage. The reason why you're married is not for happiness. But there is a greater purpose why you're married. So if you pursue the purpose,
Mhm.
happiness will come along the way.
Mhm.
However, if you pursue happiness, you may
Mhm.
not find purpose.
Mhm.
So you see,
Yeah.
so that is why you need to find the reason why you're married.
Yes.
There is a reason why you're married. There is
Yes.
a purpose why you're married.
Yes.
And one of the reasons, which I said in my book, is for dominion, is for reigning on the earth.
Mhm.
God wants your home to be like heaven on earth,
Mhm.
so that you and your husband or your spouse or your partner, you reign on the earth just like God is in heaven with the Trinity.
Mhm.
And so with both of you reigning, of course there will be challenges, like I said.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But if the purpose is in mind, you'll find that at the end of the day, you would be happy, even
Yeah.
more than what you thought your happiness would have been.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you
So
100%.
that's just it.
Yeah, that's good. Wow, wow, wow. You see, I told you that, like, we've got a powerhouse. She's gonna just blow our mind up this evening. All right, talking about marriage, there was this stuff that was going around on the internet,
Yeah.
and then there's this young lady that was talking about, like, marriage and all that, and then how men, especially married men, like, they can, they get satisfaction outside, right? And then that makes them think right and feel better. And then when they come back home, they won't have time for argument, they won't have time for distraction, they won't have time for all this. And then she, being a single woman, she's able to pamper the man, according to her. I'm sure you saw the clip, it went viral, right?
No, I'm not particularly sure, but it's okay. I'm following your story.
Yeah, so, like, what would you say about that? Like, when we have some lady with different perspectives,
Yes.
and then they kind of put, like, like the way you talk about marriage, right? So it's extreme, two different perspectives. So
absolutely.
what do you say about that?
Right. So I find that people marry for several reasons,
Mm-hmm.
and people have different perspective of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like you said, we have two extreme perspective. I am of the opinion of biblical aspect, which is one man, one wife,
Mm-hmm.
staying together.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she has another perspective of her husband can go outside and satisfy herself, and when she comes in, then the husband doesn't have to argue too much.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to choose a man according to your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what I believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If I understood your question correctly.
No, what I'm saying is that, what do you think of young ladies like that? Because
of the single ladies,
right, like, what do you think of that? Because our perspective is like, we'll take care of the married man, we'll take care of his needs, he comes back from work, and then we take care of him, we do all that, and then the wife can have the leftover and all that. And then at the other hand, the woman is right there, the married one is right there, stressed about the marriage, stressed about the kids, stressed about every other thing, and don't have time to cater enough for the man. So what do you say in that, young lady?
I mean, what word, you're reaping what you did not sow, and that's very unjust. That's also a wrong mindset, because you're also setting yourself up for failure in the future. The Bible tells us, right, that if you have the right foundation, right, it says, if the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do? Your foundation, your belief is very important. As a young girl, you shouldn't be going after married men. Even if you have a married man, there should be boundaries. There should be a place where you cannot go to. So having those mindset, definitely a young girl would have that mindset. First of all, is not born again. It's not even a Christian. So what can I say to you? Is to know God, is to know Christ. And I do also believe that the married man also who have that mindset going after single ladies also doesn't know God. Now, does that mean are there some so-called Christian church people who do that? Yes, there are. But are they really Christians? No, they are not. So it goes back to your foundation. First of all, it goes back to your mindset. That is one. Number two, my advice for single ladies: stay out of the way of married men. That is not right. That is unjust. And that is a wrong belief system. I do believe that as a young girl, if you have that mindset, you're setting yourself up for failure, because at the end of the day, the man is never going to marry you.
Yeah, for sure.
He's just going to use you and dump you and go back to your wife. And also, you're making somebody's wife unhappy. So therefore, whatever you do, there are consequences, right? You don't want to start putting costs in your future because of money or because of pleasure or because of things that are unnecessary.
Yeah.
So stay clear of married men. And
I
married men
agree.
don't go after don't go after young ladies.
Mhm.
At the same time, whatever is happening in your marriage, walk through it.
Mhm.
People go through a lot in their marriage,
Mhm.
except if it's a case of abuse, if
Mhm.
it's finances, or you and your partner be a team.
Mhm.
Walk through whatever the challenges is. If you need to go to therapy, go to therapy. If you need to see a pastor or an imam or
Yeah.
wherever religion or a
Yeah.
mentor, do that.
Yeah.
But do not just step outside to a young girl. The young girl will only satisfy you for a little time, but that would not fix the problem in your marriage.
Mhm.
And so the that's not a good thing for both parties.
I like the way you talked about it. Okay, I like the way you talked about it, but but it is true, right? It is true, and I feel that, like you said, that if there's any challenges in marriages, you go out there, you seek for counseling. But I know a lot of people that they don't even do that.
Yeah.
And then especially being black in this part of the world, people don't even take advantage of those things, and those things are right at the table for
For them,
anyone
yeah.
that needs it, right? So, to everyone who is watching us, I will encourage you this evening, please, 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 always seek counsel. It's very, very important. Look at someone that, you can trust them, you can, you believe them, they got you, even though you said the worst thing ever about so it's very, 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 very important. All right, so I'm gonna take it off marriage case.
Yeah. Right. Have a bit strict there, isn't it? Right.
All right, so
Yeah.
tell me, how did you, from being a doctor,
Yeah.
how did you make up your mind that, in my part, this is what how I want to do, right? And also, fulfilling other needs as well too.
Right. So is the question asking how I chose the career or how do I
Yes.
balance? Okay,
Yes,
fine.
and you balance together.
Right,
Yes.
fine. I think the idea to be a doctor came from childhood.
Mhm.
My uncle was a doctor. I mean, he's retired now, but he's still a doctor, still alive. But my dad, I think, was a motivation for my uncle to go to
Mhm.
medical school, and it's really much desired that
Mhm.
one of his kids was going to be a doctor. So he would
Mhm.
speak it into me. He would just say, "Nothing in the world can stop you from being a doctor," and I desired it. I mean, it wasn't that it was forced.
Mhm.
He also saw my determination. In school, I was very good with biology,
Mhm.
and so I love it. It was like I was touching human body when I'm reading biology from secondary school. So, and then I also had a father who encouraged me, who saw that, and he would always speak into me that nothing in life will stop you, and nothing has stopped me from being a doctor, even despite the several challenges. So it was an interest,
Mhm.
first of all. So, anyways, when I was in Nigeria, I studied biochemistry as a first degree,
Mhm.
and then when I came to Canada, I traveled to the Caribbean to do medicine,
Mhm.
and that's the story basically for getting medicine.
Mhm.
How I balance it all, I think I come to a stage in life that you have to define what success is to you. Everybody have
Yes.
their definition of success,
Yes.
and you also have to define what having it all is to you.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
for me, I find that success to me is faith, family, career in that order.
Mhm.
So, what do I mean? I've had career breaks for a while
Mhm.
because I was pursuing family. Where at the stage I needed to support the family, support the children, support my husband to go ahead. And I was happy doing that. And it was stressful. And I wouldn't say it doesn't come with its challenges, but I didn't quit on my career.
Mhm.
I was pursuing it, doing the exam that was needed as well.
Mhm.
And then my career shoot up as well,
Mhm.
right? But in that order,
Mhm.
if I were to need to take sacrifices for family, for children, I would gladly do that.
Mhm.
You know,
That's good.
yeah.
That's
So,
good.
so for me, it's faith, family, career, and that's success to me. So having the three. Initially, there was a time, of course, it was more of God, and we had challenges bearing children,
Mhm.
right? And I made that a priority. We had children,
Mhm.
and my career was laid back as well,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
And I got to a point I had the three. So for
Mhm.
me, that's success.
That's good.
That's
That's
success
good.
to me.
That's good. I'm
Yeah.
I'm happy for you like that.
Thank you.
That's good.
Thank you. So yeah, so everyone, you have to have your definition of success.
Yes,
I,
absolutely.
what gives you
Absolutely.
fulfillment, what makes you happy, because you can't be Dangote. Not everybody can be Elon Musk or
Absolutely.
Bill Gates,
Absolutely.
but
Absolutely.
whatever you want to pursue, if it's media, if it's you put your eyes on it and you achieve it, and also maybe if you want to have children, you
Mhm.
achieve it. I think you'll be happy with yourself that
Mhm.
okay, I've done something with my life.
Mhm. Wow, that's good. That's good. I like that. So tell me, what is one of the most challenging thing that you ever experienced and then you overcame?
Oh, thank you. I mean, that's a huge question. I think
I
for
know.
me, it was taking the backseat in my career.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, the two major. I'll go with two majors because
Mm-hmm.
was infertility
Mm-hmm.
and career.
Mm-hmm.
But in both of them,
Mm-hmm.
career was really strenuous for me
Mm-hmm.
because of the exams and
Mm-hmm.
also because now I have children. I had to juggle it with reading and not doing all that, so it became a lot of weight. And also I had a period of close to 10 years
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't practice medicine,
Mm-hmm.
right, and that I had to wait
Mm-hmm.
because I was at the front of the home. I was also supporting my husband, who was in the
Mm-hmm.
same career with me. That took a lot of dedication, a lot of
Absolutely.
faithfulness, a
Absolutely.
lot of staying back and trusting God that it will be your
Absolutely.
turn. And I think that's the hardest for me.
Mm-hmm.
But in that period, God taught me what faithfulness is. God taught me that you need to ask for faithfulness. Part of the fruit of the Spirit that we don't emphasize and we
Mm-hmm.
don't pray enough for is faithfulness.
Yeah.
God is faithful even when we are unfaithful to Him.
Mm-hmm.
So when God is faithful to us, it doesn't look at how prayerful you are, how good you are, but He
Absolutely.
remains faithful even despite your unfaithfulness.
Yes.
So God was teaching me that I need to be faithful to the course that I've chosen, which is marriage,
Mm-hmm.
and to be faithful even when other things are not going my path.
Mm-hmm.
And that is faithfulness according to the word of God.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was really stressful.
Mm-hmm.
It was a tedious years, but at the end of the day, God helped me, and I have back to my career. And also, my husband was able to also support me because I took that job years to support him and also to raise children.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something to ask God for, to be faithful.
Yeah.
So I would say for me, that's what has really stretched me the most, because when I left medical school, I had also my plans in the next 2 years. I wanted to get into residency. I wanted to finish residency by a certain age, but all of
Mm-hmm.
that didn't happen
Mm-hmm.
at the time that I wanted it to happen.
Yeah.
And so that's why I said you would have it all, but not at your own time frame.
Absolutely.
And you
Absolutely.
need to get over the pressure on yourself. Don't feel
Mhm.
like you're a failure. You still have it in the
Mm-hmm.
future if you don't give up. But it may
Yes.
not be the 5 years timeline or 10 years timeline
Mm-hmm.
that you give to
Mm-hmm.
yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the second most challenging to me was
Mm-hmm.
infertility,
Mm-hmm.
because I was pretty young and we're
Mm-hmm.
trusting God for the fruit of the womb.
Mm-hmm.
But then it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And we started, because of our knowledge, we started medical opinion. We started to ask for medical help earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And I was diagnosed with primary ovarian failure. My ovaries were failing practically.
Mm-hmm.
And we were at the fertility clinic, and I was told there's nothing they could do for me. I did not even qualify for IVF.
Hmm.
So we were there, and I was only 27 years old. My body was like I was in menopause. I was having every classic symptoms of menopause.
Mm-hmm.
I needed 10 follicular counts to qualify for IVF. I had only 2. And they
Wow.
said they wouldn't even take a chance on me, because for IVF, I needed to drop at least to start with 10,000 Canadian dollars to start, not to finish, just to start as a deposit. But
Mm-hmm.
they wouldn't even try that on me, because they said the rate of success is really low, because I had 2 instead of at least the minimum of 10 that they needed. So the option that I was given was to continue to try on my own, to adopt,
Mm-hmm.
and to get an egg donor if
Mm-hmm.
I were to. So I chose the first 2, which was try on my own and adoption.
Mm-hmm.
And we continued prayerfully with God, and I started asking for fasting and prayer. And God answered us miraculously. and we had the
Wow.
twins.
Wow.
And this was after 2 rounds of Clomid. Didn't work for me. This was
Wow.
several years.
Wow.
And, yeah.
Wow. You know, you sharing that, and I just want to say thank you for sharing that with
That's all
us
right.
on the show.
That's
Like,
all right.
I know that might be something which I believe it might be something personal to you.
Yeah.
But the fact that, like, you know, you shared it with us, I
Yeah.
want to say thank you for that,
That's
because
okay.
you know, listening to your story,
Mhm.
you know, can also, like, you know, be an inspiration to someone else, like, you
Right.
know, that's probably looking for the fruit of the womb, you
Mhm.
know, and then they waited and waited and waited, and then, you know, all sort of things has been said, and then they believe that, like, you know, nothing else can actually happen. So you being here and being an example, and then eventually happened, you know, that's amazing.
Yeah,
You
thank
know,
you. And I have 4.
four. Did you
And I'm
hear? Yeah, the
exhausted
energy
right
has
now. I have 4.
4.
So that's why I decided to go for 4.
4.
I
Wow,
had
that's
twins first, and the other one came a
so.
year
You're gonna
after.
have more?
No, I'm
No.
done. I'm done.
All right, that's good.
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna be taking our questions right now.
Yes.
So I'm gonna read some of the questions that we have, and then, you know, I'll let you, you know,
Right.
answer the questions
Right,
of
sure.
our viewers right here.
Okay.
So I know we've got a couple of it. And then I would just go ahead and then read this. People are into marriage just because of fame and income. When it doesn't work, they divorce. What can you say to a person with that kind of mindset?
You've already given the reason for the marriage. So the problem is your reason have to change.
Yes.
If you do something for money, if it doesn't come, what happens? Like I said, if your eyes is on $50,000 and then you don't get the 50,000, you'll be discouraged.
Yes.
So again, that's not a right reason to go into marriage. But peradventure, you had gone into marriage with that mindset. What can you do now? You're stuck. You're in it. What can you do? Is to change your reason.
Yes.
Because marriage is dedication. Marriage is commitment. Marriage is deciding to love. It's being faithful, even, you know, when every other things are going haywire. It's to say, I'm going to stay this course, except there's a threat to my life. And in that case, we can look at other options such as separation and all of that. Right? So what am I saying is to change your reason, have the right mindset. Try and ask God, what can I do in the life of this man? If you're just in marriage, and if all you're doing in marriage is just eating, sleeping, and making love, it becomes boring.
Yes.
But so if there is a higher purpose, if there's something that you're pursuing, okay, I want to build a home, there's a vision, there's something in the life of my husband that the Lord wants me to take care of, and that's why I'm doing this. You have meaning to it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? So you have to ask God for the reason, and He would gladly give you. Once you're married, there is nothing called wrong spouse anymore. Even before marriage, we can say, oh, yeah, is a wrong partner, don't marry. But once you marry, it becomes Mr. Right automatically, even if it was a wrong choice or is a wrong reason. You know, so you need to now ask God and say, Lord, I am sorry for going to this marriage based on this reason. But now I want a better reason to say this course.
Yes, I agree with you.
But it's common. That's what happens.
Yes,
of course.
Yes.
In most Western world, because most things are transactional here.
Yes. Yes. And then the next question here. Thank you for that. So, and I hope that answered the person's question. All right. So the next question is should sexual abilities, strength, have a role to play in keeping marriage?
That's a good question. I'm not going to say yes or no, but I would say this. It depends on what that person means. People are married, and for whatever reason, what happens if the person you're married become impotent? Or what happens if there was an accident along the way? Would you divorce? There are greater reasons. Of course, that being said, because one of the purpose of marriage is replication. God wants you to replicate your type. Is one of the purpose. So yes, sexual intercourse is important. Replication is important. However, that being said, that's not the only reason for marriage. So if it never happens, or if that is not there, it's not a reason to say I do not want to continue, because there may be medical reasons, there may be other factors, And that is where you may need help. You may need to seek medical advice. You may need to, go for counseling. Because again, sometimes these things are mental or psychological, sometimes stress, sometimes other medical condition. For instance, there are people with partners with diabetes and they kind of have right. So do we divorce at that stage because he has diabetes? No.
Yes.
But what about people who have a form of accident and that affects their sexual organs? Do you pull out because of accident that is not your partner's fault? No. So therefore, I don't think it's the only reason, to stay in marriage or not.
Good. All right. So we've got more. Bless you. We've got more questions right here. Okay, so someone else says that does purpose play a major role in marriage? And then what will you about religious union? And can a Christian marry Muslim or vice versa?
This is supposed to be or not. Well, like I said, marriage is more about individual than a collective suggestion. And I would say that because, I could say, yes, marry your type. As much as to say marry your type, I've known some beautiful marriage of Christians and Muslims, that worked. But that being said, there are some things that I could advise in terms of if you want to marry your type, marry somebody you have the same purpose with, that you have the same alignment, you see things alike. And also you have to put into consideration how if things are down, how would you resolve the problems? What religion would you run to? What religion will your children practice? So these are the things that you have to look into consideration, and that should help you decide whether you want to marry a Christian, whether you want to marry a Muslim.
Wow. All right. So I hope that has answered the person's question. All right. So so we're gonna be getting back on me right now. So and then okay, I hope this has been like, I'm sure there has been one or two things that you're able to pick up, like, either you're trying to like get married, or maybe you have a spouse already. Like, there's just something that like, you can learn, and then I'm sure that like, with our experience, with everything like that. And please, like I always said, like if you do have a questions, please do not forget to drop your questions right there. So that way, like, other questions or whatever you might have, will be able to answer them better. All right. So tonight we're gonna be coming to an end of our show. All right. So and it's been a very, very wonderful time with you. And I just want to say that, like, thank you so much, very much for being here with us. And what word would you like to say to our viewers?
What can I say then? I know I've talked about God so much. People have converted your show to church, but life can be tough, and you need an anchor. And for me, my anchor is God. Find an anchor. Find an anchor, and that anchor will hold you in trials. That anchor will lead you to the right safety. That is one. Number two is marriage is beautiful. There could be turns along the way. It could be difficult. There could be trying times. But if you have the right partner, and what I mean by right partner is doing his best. You guys are working in synergy. It's not beating you up. Your life is not in danger. But every other thing else, and it's not cheating on you. It's not a serious cheat. It's not putting your life in danger. Every other thing else, I think it can be worked on. Don't give up on your marriage.
I agree with you.
Don't give up on your marriage. People give up these days for flimsy reasons, like it doesn't make me happy. I just don't feel it.
Absolutely.
That's not enough reasons. There are, of course, bigger reasons where we can say, okay, I think these are legitimate reasons. But if it's for flimsy reasons that I think you both can work on, why not? Seek counseling, seek mentorship, seek somebody that can help you. Don't give up on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been such an amazing time with you. And I just want to say, like, whenever you're around, like, it's just always amazing. And I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so happy that you're able to join us live this evening. All right. So everyone, all right. So 39, 38. So we're going to be coming to an end of the show tonight. So, all right. So I know people are still dropping questions and all that, but please, like I said before, drop your questions below and then we'll always go through it. And also, like, you can send us an email on the speakershow@gmail.com. Send us an email and we will answer your questions. And then if there's anything that you would like us to talk about, please feel free. Feel free to, like, send us an email so that way we can like, we can set whatever topic that we want to talk about, or if there's even a guest, if there's someone in your mind that that can also, like, influence people, that can empower other people out there, please get in contact with us. We are more than happy to do all those things. Let's work together as a team. And then most importantly, before I go, like you guys know, I always tell you, do not forget to like. Do not forget to share with your friends, share with your, like, even to your enemies, share with them. You can be a blessing to them. All right, so please share the video with your loved ones, your friends, everyone around you. Please share it, because you just never know, you can be a savior to someone's life, because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know the kind of challenges that they're into right now, but they're there, and you see them smiling at all time. So, but you doing a little thing can make a huge difference in other people's life. So I just want to say a very big thank you to each and every one of you who have joined the show tonight, and those of you who are going to watch later on. The video is here. It's on YouTube. Go on the Speaker Show and go on the Speaker Show on YouTube. You can always go back to watch the video. If there's something that she have said that, like, you really want to recap, or maybe probably you really want to hear it one more time, go back on the videos. Please do. And like. And I just want to say thank you very, very much. And I want to tell you something. Next week, oh my goodness, something great is coming next week. I'm telling you that. So I just want you guys to please relax. Okay. Next week, there will be something amazing that's going to happen on the show. All right. So please invite your friends. Invite. There's someone special that is coming. And I just want you to look out, invite people so they can come and they can be part of this. So, without being said, I want to tell you, I remain your host, your one and holy, Nini Olafatai. And I will see you again next week. Thank you so much. And